Iran-Russia military relations growing concern, says Antony Blinken. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called the development of military relations between Iran and Russia a growing concern. We've seen Iran provide drones that Russia is using in Ukraine to attack civilian infrastructure, to kill civilians. This is something that's been going on for months. We've been working to expose that, to take action against it, to sanction it, Blinken claimed in an interview with CBS by repeating claims regarding Iran's participation in the Ukraine war through military assistance to Russia. The Islamic Republic has on repeated occasions roundly rejected Washington's allegations. Iranian Defense Minister Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Ashtiani said Ukrainian officials had failed to provide any evidence for their claim that Russia was using Iranian drones in its February present war on Ukraine. Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian has also reached out to the U.S. and other Western countries' allegations, reacted to the U.S. and other Western allegations, noting that Iran had provided Russia with a limited number of drones, but the delivery had taken place months before the war in Ukraine. On another occasion in October, the top diplomat had likewise responded to the Western claims by asserting, "We've not sold and will not sell any weapons and drones to be used in the war against Ukraine." Russia similarly denied employing or deploying any Iranian UAVs in the war against Ukraine. Blinken also expressed concern about the expansion of relations between the Islamic Republic and Russia, saying, "There's an increasingly noxious relationship between Russia and Iran, and it's actually a two-way street. Not only is Iran providing this equipment to Russia, but Russia is also providing military equipment to Iran, including, it looks like, sophisticated fighter planes. That's something that looks like it may be happening, which would make Iran an even greater threat if it acquires that technology." So this is something that we've been talking about with allies and partners around the world. That relationship is a growing concern. Western countries are worried about the increase of cooperation between Iran and Russia while they're supplying all kinds of weapons to Kiev. And from the AP, more of the same. U.S. officials point to Russia using Iranian drones in Ukraine. American defense officials on Tuesday sought to dispel any doubt that Iran is supplying drones for Russia's war in Ukraine, releasing photos and analysis of unmanned aircraft deployed in the conflict to demonstrate Tehran's involvement. During a briefing in London, an analyst from the Defense Intelligence Agency displayed photos of drones that attacked Ukraine alongside images of those previously traced to Iran. A comparison of design details such as tail fins, nose cones, and landing gear shows that the weapons used in Ukraine are indistinguishable from Shahed 131 and 136 attack drones and Mohajer 6 unmanned aerial vehicles used in the Middle East. The effort to show the homework is intended to help persuade governments or internal agencies of Iran's involvement. Iran has said it supplied a small number of drones to Russia before the invasion of Ukraine, but has denied providing any more since troops crossed the border last February. The evidence proves otherwise, an official from the Defense Intelligence Agency said while speaking on condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the information. Iran is a partner in the conflict with Russia. How does the evidence prove otherwise? Is there proof of that? The article just ended. And from Air and Space Forces magazine, DIA report uses photos to show Russia's using Iranian drones in Ukraine. A new report from the Defense Intelligence Agency confirms the drones Russia has used to terrorize Ukrainian cities and pound the country's infrastructure have been provided by Iran. Russia's renamed the drones it acquired from Iran, but by drawing on declassified images and publicly available photos, the DIA report shows that Russia's carried out attacks in Ukraine with the same types of unmanned aerial vehicles Iran has used in the Middle East. Russia's renamed the drones it acquired from Iran, but by drawing on declassified images and publicly available photos, the DIA report shows that Russia's carried out the attacks. Part of what has made the drones used in Ukraine easy to link to Iran is their novel appearance. The Iranian origin Shahed 136, renamed Jiran 2 by the Russians, has a distinctive shape, with a delta wing body and vertical stabilizers extending above and below the body, as displayed in Iranian press and military expos. The DIA noted referring to the one-way attack drone. Did Iran teach Russia how to build these? The images circulating in an open press of UAVs in Ukraine clearly show the features of the Shahed 136 Delta Wing body and vertical stabilizers, the report said. Components of Shahed 136 drones have been recovered in Ukraine, which has enabled DIA to determine the same type of UAV Iran has transferred to the Houthis in Yemen and used in 2021 attack on emergent. Okay, so these were used in 2021. So could they have been given to Iran before 2021? Could they have been given to Russia before 2021, or even could the information to build them have been given to Russia before 2021? Because the main impetus is that for the United States and for Western powers is that Iran is giving the weapons post the Ukraine conflict, and there's no proof of that. And here's another from the AP News. U.S. officials point to Russia using Iranian drones in Ukraine. American defense officials on Tuesday sought to dispel any doubt that Iran is supplying drones for Russia's war in Ukraine, releasing photos and analysis of unmanned aircraft deployed in the conflict to demonstrate Tehran's involvement. During a briefing in London, analysis from the Defense Intelligence Agency displayed photos of drones that attacked Ukraine alongside images of those previously traced to Iran. A comparison of design details such as tail fins, nose cones, and landing gear shows that the weapons used in Ukraine are indistinguishable from Shahed 131 and 136 attack drones and Mohajer 6 unmanned aerial vehicles used in the Middle East. The effort to show the homework is intended to help persuade governments or internal agencies of Tehran's involvement. Iran said it supplied a small number of drones to Russia before the invasion of Ukraine, but denied providing any more since troops crossed the border last February. And from Axios, expected sanctions, or EU expected to sanction IRGC entities over drones sent to Russia. The European Union is expected to impose sanctions on 7 entities connected to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that the bloc says are involved in the delivery of drones to Russia for its war against Ukraine. 2 senior EU officials said. The big picture, one senior EU official told Axios, the bloc is much more concerned about Iran's weapons support for Russia than it was before. The IRGC is much more the focus than it used to be, and there's a real change of mindset. Until recently, most of the EU focus was on Iran's nuclear program and not on the IRGC military activity abroad. A decision on the sanctions could be announced as soon as this week. Iran has acknowledged it's delivered some drones to Russia before the war started, but denies doing so after the invasion began. Driving the news, a senior official, or EU official, spoke to Axios on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly on the issue, said the package of the sanctions was formally presented on Wednesday in a meeting of the European Commission with the ambassadors of the member states. The package includes sanctions against the IRGC aerospace force, which the bloc says is involved in the delivery of drones to Russia and the training of Russian operators, and the IRGC Research and Self-Sufficiency Jihad organization, which the official said is involved in the development of drones. Other entities expected to be sanctioned, according to the official, include OJ Parvaz Mado Nafar Company, Parvar Pars Company, Quds Aviation Industries, and Shahed Aviation Industries. According to EU officials, these entities are involved in the manufacturing of the drones that were delivered to Russia, including importing the parts needed to make the drones. The package also includes sanctions against the Russia company Concern More Informed System Agat, the official said. A senior EU official said the list of entities was drafted according to intelligence reports provided by Ukraine, which included an analysis of Iranian drones that were captured and showed which dual-use materials were used to build them. The senior EU official said the negotiations over the sanctions package formally started on Wednesday, but stressed there's been no pushback so far from member states in the informal consultations in recent days. The official added that the sanctions package will likely be approved and announced within days ahead of the first anniversary of the Russian invasion on February 24th. The EU had previously sanctioned several individuals and entities over human rights abuses and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and missiles. The fresh sanctions will come in the context of the use of dual-use of materials for building drones for Russia, the official said. Ursula von der Leyen, president of the European Commission, said in a speech at the European Parliament on Wednesday that the Iranian-made drones kill Ukrainian civilians. It's our duty to sanction them and confront Iran about the supply of drones and the transfer of know-how to build production sites in Russia, she said. Exactly. These are production sites, right? So to say that they are from Iran that's probably not true. I mean, it seems as though the West is proving that here. What to watch? The senior EU official who spoke to Axios said the EU is still very concerned about the expected delivery of short-range ballistic missiles from Iran to Russia. That's a kind of a subject change. All right, and make sure you watch this space, and remember that your engagement through a like, a share, and a subscribe will do many things. Not only will it accelerate us at warp speed towards the continuation of our mission to truthfully go where no news will have been going before, but it will also spread the word. So, more world news in just a moment. Watch this space. Iran denies enriching uranium to 84% purity amid IAEA row. The IAEA says it's talking to Iran over enrichment, as Tehran says the agency is being used as a political tool. Iran has denied that it's intentionally enriched uranium to a purity of 84% amid ongoing issues. I think the operative word is intentionally here. Among ongoing issues with the global nuclear watchdog and disagreements over its 2015 nuclear deal. U.S.-based financial news agency Bloomberg reported on Sunday that inspectors with the International Atomic Energy Agency had found uranium enriched to a purity of 84%, just below the 90% required for a bomb, and are trying to determine if it was produced intentionally. This is the highest purity uranium ever found in Iran, which gradually boosted its enrichment since 2019, 1 year after the unilateral withdrawal of the U.S. from its nuclear deal with world powers, and has declared enrichment up to 60%. Iranian officials have said that they're not seeking a nuclear weapon. The IAEA is aware of recent media reports relating to uranium enrichment levels in Iran, the agency wrote on Twitter early on Monday. Director General Rafael Grossi is discussing with Iran the general results of recent agency verification activities and will inform the IAEA Board of Governors as appropriate. Behrouz Kamalvandi, the spokesperson for the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, told the state-linked Fars News website late on Sunday that particles with a purity of higher than 60% had been found by inspectors, but that had happened before and was nothing out of the ordinary. The existence of a uranium particle or particles with a purity of over 60% in the enrichment process does not mean that there has been enrichment over 60%, he said. This is something very natural which can even occur as a result of decreasing the feed of centrifuge cascades at a moment. What matters is the final product, and the Islamic Republic of Iran has so far not tried to enrich over 60%. So, not tried. According to Kamalvandi, an issue like this was not something the agency would have even reported to its member states, so the fact that it's been leaked to Western media showed it was an effort towards smearing and warping facts. The spokesperson also repeated Iranian accusations that the agency was being used as a political tool to pressure Iran with the confidential reports previously leaked to media in Western countries. And from Press TV, Iran categorically rejects Western media's false reports, says never enriched uranium above 60%. Iran's categorically rejected a report by Western media that's enriched uranium to levels above 60% of purity, saying the country's nuclear facilities have never enriched uranium above that level. The spokesman for the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, AEOI, Behrouz Kamalvandi, made the remarks in reaction to a report by Bloomberg that claimed the International Atomic Energy Agency is trying to clarify how Iran accumulated uranium enrichment to 84% purity. It added that IAEA inspectors found highly enriched uranium particles within the network of pipes connecting centrifuges used to separate uranium isotopes. Speaking to Iran's official IRNA news agency, Kamalvadi said Bloomberg's report was aimed at distorting the realities. He added that during the enrichment process, the mere existence of an individual uranium particle enriched to above 60% purity does not mean that uranium is being enriched at levels above 60%. The official was also quoted by Fars news agency as saying that the existence of such particles was a totally normal issue in the course of uranium enrichment and could happen even when the feedstock of centrifuge cascades decreased momentarily. When what matters is the final product, and the Islamic Republic of Iran has never embarked on uranium enrichment at a level above 60%. Kamalvandi said, adding that IAEA is well aware that such issues happen during the nuclear work. In various cases in the past, different levels of enrichment have been observed and have been accounted for, and this latest issue will be clarified as well. He noted that IAEA does not usually inform its members of such issues, saying publicizing these issues through Western media once again shows that, unfortunately, the IAEA has lost its professional and impartial standing since a long time ago. It intentionally provides Western media with technical information, and without a doubt this conduct will further discredit this important international organization. Speaking in an interview with Russia's Sputnik news agency in early February, the head of the AEOI criticized the UN nuclear watchdog for the leakage of information about Iran's nuclear energy program to the opponents of diplomatic efforts to revive the nuclear agreement, officially known as the JCPOA. The International Atomic Energy Agency gives information about Iran's nuclear program to the opponents of negotiations to revive the JCPOA, Mohammad Eslami said. Iran's nuclear chief criticizes the IAEA for providing the information. He also expressed regret over the IAEA's political unprofessional behavior. In connection with the disclosure of the JCPOA's confidential reports to those who opposed the negotiations to restore the 2015 accord, which was unilaterally abandoned by the U.S. in 2018, Eslami said Iran's nuclear achievements are meant to be used in medical environments and industrial sectors, reiterating the peaceful nature of the country's uranium enrichment activities. Also, in an interview with Iran State TV on February 3rd, Eslami warned that the unprofessional and unacceptable behavior of IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi would harm his reputation and that of the agency. And from Al Arabiya, we have IAEA discussing with Iran report of uranium enrichment to near nuclear weapons grade. This is Tuka Khalid from Al Arabiya English. The United Nations nuclear watchdog said on Sunday it was discussing the recent results of verification activities with Iran after Bloomberg reported that the agency had detected uranium enrichment to 84% purity, the highest level reported in the country to date and very close to weapons grade. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, said on Twitter it was aware of recent media reports relating to uranium enrichment levels in Iran, adding the IAEA is discussing with Iran the results of recent activity or recent agency verification activities and will inform the IAEA Board of Governors as appropriate. Bloomberg report cites two senior diplomats as saying that international atomic monitors have detected in Iran last week uranium enriched to 84% purity, which is just 6% below the weapons grade purity of 90% required for a nuclear weapon. The IAEA's Director General Rafael Grossi had sounded the alarm last month about the massive stockpile of enriched uranium that had amassed. He said, "One thing's true, they've amassed enough nuclear material for several nuclear weapons, not one at this point." The IAEA had reported in November that Iran had begun enriching uranium up to 60% purity at its Fordo nuclear plant and was planning to expand its enrichment capacity. The 84% purity is a marked acceleration of the activities of Tehran's nuclear program, which it insists is for peaceful purposes only. The latest reported enrichment level is also well above the 20% Iran produced before signing the now-defunct 2015 nuclear deal with the world powers. The accord caps enrichment at 3.6%. The report comes as tensions are high between Iran and the West over the stalled negotiations to revive the nuclear deal. Tehran's repression of protesters and human rights violations amid country-wide demonstrations over the death of Mahsa Amini or Armeni and the regime's supply of arms to Russia, which are used in the latter's war in Ukraine. And there we have it for our world news. Make sure you watch this space. Remember, your engagement through a like, a share, subscribe will accelerate us at warp speed towards the continuation of our mission to truthfully go where no news will have been going before. Watch this space.